Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Yo, appreciate you guys tuning in for this stream on Solana DeFi. So right now, I'm gonna be covering the entire Solana DeFi ecosystem. Right now, Sol is absolutely sending. Let's just look at this dang on chart, man. This stuff is absolutely nuts, dude. Like, what is Sol has pumped to 61.24. This is absolutely insane, dude. Like, hold on one second. Let me pull up the screen so you guys can see it. Oh wait, oh nope. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, this thing has pumped to 61.15. Crazy. A month ago, this thing was sitting around $21. A year ago, dog, we were in the trenches a year ago. We don't even need to go back that far. But the fact that we've come such a long way is just huge validation for everybody who stuck around during the FTX crash, which was like right here. That crash down to 8 was just, it was disgusting, man. I ain't gonna lie. Talk about peak depression. Soon after that, DeGods were like, oh, we're leaving the Solana ecosystem. That didn't help out NFTs at all. So just for everybody who stuck around, kept DCAing in, huge congrats to you guys. Even though Sol is absolutely sending right now, I think it's important not to miss out on the potential that Solana DeFi holds. We look back and we see, especially during the last cycle, during the 2020 bull run in DeFi summer, we saw a lot of these protocols begin to take off in ETH. And I think that same thing is going to happen here with Solana pretty soon. If Solana does reach a top cryptocurrency, like one of the top 7 or so, we're definitely going to see a lot of these DeFi protocols are going to be one of the main reasons that it's pushed it to that point. So I really want to go over and talk about all the different opportunities currently out there within the Solana ecosystem, because I don't think a lot of people are paying attention in them. Because like if Sol reaches an all-time high, which is what, I think it's around 240, it's all-time high. That's what, maybe 3-4x from here, maybe a little over that. But a lot of these DeFi coins are going to outperform Sol. So I don't think I think it's a prime opportunity to capitalize on the potential that you have early now to farm these protocols instead of buying into them later. If we take a look just briefly at Uniswap, like Uniswap absolutely sent during the last bull market. Hold on, there we go. Computer's moving a bit slow. But yeah, like if you check out, like I know Maker hit like 4 or 5K back in the last bull market per coin. Uniswap hit like $30-$40, running up from $3. So what, 3 to 40 is like over a 10x. So it's just like opportunities like that you guys can't be missing out on. And hopefully after today's stream, you'll have some idea about how to better capitalize on them. So to be able to get a quick overview about all the different protocols out there that you guys can farm, you want to head over to DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama is an amazing tool. Yo, welcome to the stream, Nafis. Appreciate you joining in, dog. DeFi Llama is an amazing tool that will give you an overview of the entire ecosystem. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hold on, let me make sure that you can. All right, there we go. Yeah. Boom, oh, there we go again. There, yeah. So DeFi Llama gives you, it shows you how much total TVL is locked across all chains. But right up here, you can see different chains. So if you want to know how much is locked on Ethereum, 25 billion. At the peak of the bull market, what? It was 106 billion, 105 billion. That's absolutely stupid, dude. Stupid. Now, if you go over to Solana, yeah, like we're pretty much on hard times. Like ever since our highest TVL was 10 billion. That's what? 12x less than Ethereum's. So that shows you how much room Solana has to grow in terms of market cap in DeFi, or in terms of TVL locked in DeFi. And as people lock more TVL in DeFi, not only does Solana grow, the coin itself grow, but DeFi overall and those tokens within the system grow as well. As you can see, we're starting to trend upwards here a little bit, actually massively, compared to, we've been hovering between, what, 210 to 300 million, which is nothing in DeFi, nothing. That is zero amount of liquidity in DeFi compared to other ecosystems. Even L2s on Ethereum do way more volume on a day than 300 million, let alone TVL. So we're starting to trend upwards, and we're at 556 million, which is pretty incredible. It's great because it shows signs that Solana has gone through a lot, but now it's brought back confidence within the users because Solana hasn't shut down in over a year now. The chain has only become more increasingly stable. Huge catalysts such as Fire Dancers coming up. Everybody's starting to operate on the Token 2022 standard. So there's a lot of major catalysts coming up that are beginning to pique people's interest into Solana, especially after it survived the slew of FUD. In my opinion, I do think Solana is going to become one of the top 3 cryptocurrencies that's going to be able to compete with ETH. I'm not trying to fade ETH and say that it's not going to pump, because in the bull market, it's going to, of course, it's going to pump. I just think Solana and the assets within the ecosystem, specifically DeFi, are going to outperform ETH this time around. If you've been in crypto long enough, you use ETH. And dog, that ain't a good experience, man. That stuff is hard times. People over there bragging like, oh, ETH shouldn't be ETH. If you can't afford a $90 transaction, you shouldn't be using ETH then. Well, I hate to break it to you, but no institution, nobody who wants to do any type of transaction on the blockchain who's not, crypto native, such as normies, and the whole goal of crypto is to expand, and to make it widespread and generally used. Nobody's going to pay $90 a transaction. I think it's obscene to pay that much for a transaction. Also, the delay and like how long it takes to process a transaction. Solana, it outperforms all those aspects. But I'm here preaching to the choir about how awesome Solana is. You guys already know, or else you wouldn't be here. So now let's jump into specifically what protocols are out there for DeFi that you should be looking at and actively farming. So now these protocols are going to be broken into like 3 to 5 major categories. You have your liquid staking categories, liquid staking, lending, liquidity providing, and trading. Now, I will go like Marinade Finance is currently the top leading staking protocol. So let's jump into Marinade Finance so I can show you what exactly it isn't. Boom. Share. Nope. Here we go. All right, this is Marinade's Finance. So liquid staking is essentially you're staking your SOL on a validator to gain APY. Those APYs usually range between 6 to 10%. Right now, currently, Marinade has the highest APY, if I'm not mistaken, at 8.76% annually. Look, I'm not knocking it. If you have a massive amount of liquidity, like if you're like SOL big brain bags, then staking like a couple thousand on SOL on the validator, that's amazing returns. But if you're in the trenches struggling, trying to come up, you ain't gonna come off at 8.5% annual, dog. I'll hate to break it to you, but it's okay. But even if you don't have that much time and you're just trying to make something passively, it's fine to stake in a validator. One great thing about Marinade is that they don't utilize smart contracts, so there's pretty much no risk to staking with them. Now, one great thing about liquid staking is traditionally when you stake your SOL or ETH or whatever on a network, liquidity is locked. You can't touch it, and you have to go through a several-day process to unstake it. However, with liquid staking, you're able to stake your Solana and at the same time get a token in return that represents your amount of stake Solana that you can use in DeFi and other within DeFi. So if we go here, let's go to optimize staking. Where is it? So I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview of the platform. Marinate, there we go. Share this. Boom. All right. Now we are in the app. So here it's pretty straightforward. I mean, connect wallet's always in the top right. Connect Phantom, yeah, sure. So here, Marinade currently has a point reward system going on until October, I think. If you click Earn, you're able to see exactly like how it breaks down. Like 100 Marinade. If you stake 100 Sol, you'll get 100 Marinade. You can also check out their docs to learn more about this. Marinade currently has a token out right now too, and it's pumped within the last recent couple days or last week due to Solana pumping as well. So let me show you this token real quick. So Marinade's sitting at 22 Sol, or sorry, 0.22 cents right now. It ran up significantly from 0.04. So if you were bullish on Marinade or has been staking for a while, you're sitting pretty. In my opinion, because Marinade already has a token and you're only getting 100 Marinade per 100 Sol stake, I don't see the upside in staking with Marinade when there's other liquid staking platforms out there that'll provide you a better return, and also that you'll be able to farm more farm for airdrop points with. Let me taking you guys back to Marinade, the main Marinade page. All right, now to just stake in Marinade, you just click Start Earning Sol now, and then click, for this example, I'm just gonna put 1. It's nothing crazy, stake 1, sure. Boom, just click the transaction, confirm. So when you stake your Sol on Marinade, Jito, and Blaze, those two I'll be showing you in a little bit, you'll get either MSol, JSol, or BSol in return. I know it might be confusing, but it's not that bad. All that, again, represents is just the amount of Sol you have staked. So as you can see in my wallet now, boom, I got 0.87 stake Marinade Sol. Now, typically when you get these liquid staking tokens for Sol, they're going to be valued, they're currently priced higher than the current price of Sol. If we go to, you can see this clearly on like money markets. They do a great job, such as marginfi. They do a great job of showing you exactly, oh crap, sorry guys, I wasn't sharing my screen with you on that one. So pull this up. I don't know if you guys can see my wallet, but if you can, whenever I swap out, you'll be able to see. So let's share this tab. Yep. So yeah, on marginfi, you're able to see the current prices of the liquid staking Sol. So MSol, what we have right now, is worth 69.27. Jito Sol is worth 64.88, and BSol is worth 66.63. It's not an issue that the price is a little higher, because usually when you go to trade or swap, there's usually slippage involved anyway. But if you don't get the exact amount, you get pretty close to the amount of Sol that you stake. So let's go back to Marinade. When I go to swap, so now that you're staked, because as I said earlier, you usually have in staking, there's usually a wait period that you have to do, but liquid staking allows you to immediately swap back out. So we can either unstake here, or we can go to like Orca and unstake there just by trading. So let me pull up Orca. Let me go on Twitter. Okay. And if you guys have any questions about this stuff, just go ahead and drop it in the chat and I can answer it. It's kind of like free flowing, just to get you guys in the know about what's happening. Where the heck? Okay. Orca. There we go. Website. Share this tab. Connect wallet. All right. Boom. Okay, now that we're on Orca, I'm gonna just sell my MSOL back to regular Sol. Sell max. So 0.98. There's usually a penalty fee if you have to unstake early. Like I know Marinade has a process where it can take a little bit to unstake, and that's fine. But if you want it immediately, taking a 0.02 Sol loss on your coin is not bad at all. So boom. So we get 0.98 Sol back. So that's Marinade Finance. Once again, I don't prefer using Marinade over other platforms, mainly because their coin is already dropped. So I'd rather put my liquidity in a marketplace that offers a higher, I'd rather stake my Sol for liquid stake Sol on a with a platform that gives me a higher APY or hasn't have a coin yet, so you can get those airdrops. And so the next one that I'm going to talk about is Jito. No, sorry, we'll talk about Blaze next, because Blaze also has a token right now. But Blaze also offers more APY percentages with lending protocols than marginfi does. Okay, cool. So right here, once again, all these staking platforms are pretty straightforward. And one thing I do like about BSOL is, Blaze, is that it shows you exactly how much your estimated APY and stuff is. So once again, process is pretty straightforward. Type in the maximum Sol you want to stake. Boom, 2 max Sol, which I get 1.83 BSOL. All right, it's taking a bit, but it should go in a second. Let's see. All right, boom, it's done. Now, another thing I like about Blaze is that when you click DeFi rewards, it'll pop up to show you what other platforms you can go to stake your DeFi, to stake BSOL to get extra points with. Like if you go to marginfi, for an example, BSOL is on here. Yes, you see this little Blaze symbol? It's showing you that they're giving you an extra amount of Blaze per money provided to their lending protocol. So let's go back to there. Now, you can also unstake instantly. Once again, it'll probably come out with a small small fee, but actually 1.99. I put 2 Sol in, easy clap. So, not enough balance to withdraw. Oh, that's not good. All right, let's just lower it a little bit. I don't know why that's not working, but. All righty. Now I see they have unstake delayed here too. I haven't typically used delayed unstake, as there was no reason for me to. It was like, if I'm unstaking, I kind of want the liquidity instantly. And that's one good thing about liquid staking is that it allows you instant access to liquidity instead of having that delay that you would traditionally have. Now, finally, for the last liquid staking protocol, which I think is the most important one, is Jito. The reason I say that Jito is the most important protocol that you should be staking with is because it has not dropped a token yet, to my knowledge. I mean, it could have been, it could have slid one in there, but I don't think it has. So the fact that they have not dropped coin yet gives you prime opportunity to farm this platform. When I first started farming, I only started at the beginning of this week, so I'm a little bit behind the curveball myself, but I still think there's plenty of time to accumulate these points. The only reason I had it spread out amongst MSOL, BSOL, and JSOL, but I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I'm like, JSOL doesn't have a coin. So it's important to like consolidate liquidity in the highest EV play. And in my opinion, having Jito Sol is the highest EV play because they don't have a token. And you want to do everything you can to get that airdrop. And I know a lot of you guys know about the Jupiter airdrop, and we'll get into that later. Where the heck? Oh, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. So on here, Jito Sol, once again, all these staking platforms are pretty straightforward. It does not really take rocket science to figure this thing out. You just stake Sol, you just click stake, amount you'll get 2 Sol again, 1.87 JSOL deposit. Boom, easy clap. And also here, it allows you to convert like other MSOL and BSOL that you have automatically to JSOL. So while your Solana is staked on the validator, if you don't have these tokens that represent the amount that you have staked, you won't be able to get to the Solana back. So say you have 100 SOL staked, and then you get, I guess, 98 or 97 BSOL in return from using Blaze. Then if you sell that Blaze or swap it back to Sol, you can't go back on the validator and get it. If for some, which I don't know why you would swap BSOL to Sol to go back on the validator to get it. I mean, you got your Sol liquid, so I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, and then once again to unstake, pretty straightforward again. Unstaked in 2 days, unstake immediately, boom. Oh, Jupiter, yeah, that's another thing I need to get into. I can't believe I almost forgot Jupiter. We're getting to that next. All right, so yeah, but you can unstake this, and also I don't know if you guys knew, but you can swap these tokens in your wallet too. So I don't know if you can see my wallet, but if you can, all you have to do is like click Jito Sol and Phantom, or sorry, you just click the little swap button in Phantom, click JSOL or whatever liquid staking Sol you have, click Max, and then it'll run it through Orca or Jupiter to swap it automatically. So you don't have to go back to a DEX or anything. Phantom has definitely had that built-in integration to make it a bit easier to change out tokens in and out. There's one. And once again, guys, if you got like any questions about like anything that I'm doing, and then I'll go over my overall strategy to show you exactly like what my goals is. Right now, I'm just giving an overview about everything that's going on, or all these different platforms. Now, Jupiter. Jupiter is it's a DEX aggregator. So it provides you different route across Solana to get the less slippage for if you're swapping out Sol. So if you want to go 5 Sol into USDC, it's going to give you different routes that it's going to take to get your Sol to USDC. It's going to take 60% of this Sol and put it through Radium, and then 40% through Orca. Once again, it's like, this is great because it reduces the amount of slippage. Slippage doesn't happen when you're working with like a couple hundred, couple thousand, but when you start getting like 5-6 figures of moving liquidity, you begin to suffer a lot of slippage depending on the amount of liquidity in those pools. That's why Jupiter is so great, because it allows you it gives you the best bang for your buck. So minimum slippage. The reason I brought up Jupiter now is because they're doing an airdrop here pretty soon. Let me pull up and see if they haven't announced a ton of information on how the airdrop will be conducted, but there is some information out there. Jupiter. One second, guys. Sorry, this internet's like moving slower than goddamn molasses. Uh-oh, I don't know if I can curse. Boom, there we go. All right. Nope. All right, yeah, I can't really, I think it's in their Discord, but everybody knows the airdrop is coming. Exact amounts, they've talked about different allocations to the community on like, 40% of the thing's going to go to community. I think there's going to be 4 phases of the airdrop. So even if you don't qualify for the first airdrop, you have a chance to qualify for the following 3, which is another thing. Is we saw a lot during DeFi summer how in protocols that had incentives or incentivized airdrops or increased fees for providing liquidity, that was a huge rotation play. We saw people constantly jump chains in order to grab that liquidity. That went from like ETH to Harmony to AVAX, so it was all over the place. And providing incentives or airdrops has a huge potential to bring in more capital and incentivize people to stake on your protocol or utilize your protocol. Let's go back to Jupiter. One of the things that I'm doing on Jupiter, one second, guys. Jupiter just opened, begin longing, allowing individuals to like long and short with perps, but you can provide liquidity for this. So if you click here, earn, you can see that these different pools of the tokens that you're able to long. I managed to slide some liquidity in here. It's not much, but it's honest work. So with the fees, with you providing liquidity here, I would think that it has some ability to, I'm sure like Jupiter will consider that and how that airdrop is allocated. And if you were able to, of course, the more you allocate, the larger your potential airdrop is. But if you're able to keep an eye on these pools, as you can see, the cap for these pools is 7 million, so not that high. And I think that's due to likely wanting to reduce smart contract risk or anything like that, or having crazy amounts of leverage that the protocol is not able to pay out or something. So you want to keep an eye on these target values to try to catch something. So right now, if you provide USDC, you can slide some in there and start, I don't want to say earning points, but the way this works is you earn fees, like 70% of the fees generated are distributed back to holders. And this goes up through JLP. So JLP represents the amount of liquidity you have staked. So with me, I have about 461 at JLP, which is like 9 SOL, or about 10 SOL, which isn't that bad. So mine has went up from the initial amount that I staked in there. I wanted to put more in there, but I couldn't because the pools felt up real quick. Honestly, the stream lagging for you. I'm sorry if the stream's lagging. Let me check the settings and make sure everything's good. Let me force quit some of this stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nafis, that the stream is lagging. Hopefully, I close out some stuff. I'm not too sure if it's my internet connection or yours. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So Jupiter will be providing an airdrop. If you've been in Solana since, FTX, and you had to use Jupiter, it's pretty much impossible not to. I'm sure you'll be eligible, but if you can, make sure you pay attention to this. Try to slide some liquidity in there so you can become eligible for some points. Personally, for me, and which I'll get into more later, my biggest goal right now is to keep spot SOL as much as possible. So I'm not really looking to provide liquidity to ETH, WRAP BTC, USDC, or USDT. If I did, and if you want to, the way to still hold spot SOL and do this at the same time is by using lending protocols such as like marginfi. So bookmarks. Nope. Let me go ahead and bring up marginfi. Yeah, marginfi is money market. Marginfi. There we go. So one of the two major, where'd it go? Yeah, the two major money markets right now are marginfi and Solana. And you can see this on DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama. Go back to Solana. All right. Yeah. Lending, Solana and marginfi. Right now, marginfi has been like the TVL has been drastically increasing on marginfi. Within the past month, you got a 348% change, while Solana it's gone up by 170%. That's nothing to scoff at. But at the same time, marginfi is starting to vampire most of the liquidity. Why? The reason I think that is because marginfi doesn't have a token yet. Solana has a token. Everybody knows, or not everybody, which is why I'm having this stream, that marginfi, if they don't have a token, you want to shove as much liquidity on this platform as possible in order to capitalize on that. So let me connect my Phantom. Boom. So right now, it goes back to the liquid staking again. You can still, Jito Sol is full. You can't put any more here into this pool. It's 100% maxed out. However, with me, I got a little bit of B Sol in here. I actually been meaning to switch that out for J Sol, but the only reason I haven't done that yet is because I wanted to just keep liquidity in marginfi to earn points. But I plan on swapping that to Sol and then putting that remainder of the SOL back in here just to continue to farm points. I've been providing liquidity to this lending platform for about a month now, and I think I got like 15K points. I don't feel like plugging in my ledger to show you guys how many points I got, but I think you get like 1K points a day. Hold on, let me, I think they tell you, oh, that's too much. I'm not reading that, bro. Yeah, I think it's like one point a day per dollar you have. So if you have $1,000 locked up in there, it's like you get 1,000 points a day. So Definitely recommend marginfi. So far, of course, there's always a risk whenever you're using DeFi is smart contract bugs where either a certain pool can get drained within the money market. However, I usually feel comfortable using money markets as long as they don't have auto compounders, because like auto compounders leave a lot of security risk. Back in the last bull cycle, I was farming on Metis. Now, of course, I love crazy APIs. It's great, APYs and APRs. It's great. I was farming in Metis, and one of the things that happened was that they had an auto compounder money market, and their new token, they had a new token. I forgot exactly what it was, but somebody managed to find an exploit and drain all the liquidity on the lending side in that pool. So yeah, that means your money is gone and you can't get it out. And that whenever a money market suffers a hack, they usually shut it down so you can't withdraw liquidity, and it's a bad deal. So whenever you're utilizing these platforms, please only put as much money in as you can afford to lose, because if you put in more, you could get wrecked. So now let's go over. Oh yeah, let me finish talking about marginfi a bit more. Actually, is there anything else I have to say on marginfi? No. This is pretty straightforward. Solon, I'll show you the guys this briefly. Once again, it's not like at the top of my list just because I rather farm points for a potential airdrop. And another thing too, I forgot to bring this up about JSOL, is that JSOL issues out points based on how much liquidity, like how active you are in DeFi as well. So I'll pull this up real quick. Yeah, let me share this. All right, yeah. So right here you see DeFi activity. So not only do you gain points from using Jito by just staking with them, you also gain points for using in DeFi. So I'm gaining points for the fact that I took out JSOL, holding it, and also put it into a DeFi protocol. Just a nice way to double dip into points, and you want to accumulate those as much as possible. Global rank 5,293. It ain't nothing too impressive, but it is what it is. Time to jump into, oh yes, liquidity providing. Now, a lot of the stuff I showed you on DeFi Llama is not fully encapsulated. DeFi Llama doesn't have certain protocols on there, but I think it's a good overview of ones that you should use. When it comes to providing liquidity providing is very risky for the sense of impermanent loss. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of what impermanent loss is. If you're really curious about impermanent loss, I got a YouTube video explaining AMMs and how they operate, and you can check out impermanent loss there. But a quick overview is if one coin goes in either direction, up and down from another one, you're going to lose money. Let's say I have Sol and I don't know, Bonk. Bonk takes off and Sol drops. I'm going to lose a bunch of money on Bonk, and that money is going to go over to Sol, because as more people are as more people are buying Bonk, they're selling Sol to me. So that's one of the risks of, hopefully that explanation was good. I'm sorry if it wasn't. Once again, providing liquidity is not the easiest thing to explain. And it would take like a completely different live stream to have to go over exactly like in detail how it works. So if you do want to provide liquidity, I think the best way to do it is find two things that will remain relatively stable next to each other. One example would be like Jito Sol and Sol, or B Sol and Sol, or any of the liquid staking tokens paired with Sol. Why is that? Because as Sol moves up, the prices of those move up as well. As Sol moves down, the prices of those move down as well. So because of that, you'll be generating more trading fees instead of suffering impermanent loss. But however, the higher risk pools that you use, the higher the risk of deviation offers higher APY. Now, I personally love going for, and one thing I loved about DeFi Summer is how you used to have sustained 2,000 APR for like months at a time. It was absolutely stupid. If you guys are Cyber Samurai holders, or if you're not a Cyber Samurai holder, please pick one up. We're constantly cooking in there, and the last bull cycle was absolutely insane. We were in DeFi Kingdoms back in I don't know, like August before it started taking off. And like I was making like $1,000 a week, and my portfolio was significantly smaller back then. So $1,000 a week is still a lot for me now. I mean, but back then, dude, that was like pretty next level. I was pulling about $1,000 a week just from farming, like I think Jewel and One. Yeah, it was the riskiest pool, but that thing was nice. And then back then, everything was pumping, so impermanent loss wasn't that bad. But going over, you can provide liquidity on Orca. I highly recommend doing it on Camino, though. Let me show you guys Camino. And the reason I say Camino is because they have auto-adjusting liquidity pools. So a lot of liquidity pools these days are constant, which means you set a price range that you want to provide liquidity for. Because the way these pools operated in the past was that you just put money in the pool, but if trading's happening between this certain price range, your liquidity is just sitting there not getting utilized. So what what they did now is to make it so that you're able to target a certain price range that you want to provide liquidity for. So if trading begins to happen outside of that range, then you won't be generate fees. Camino ensures that you're able to continue to generate fees within that range, and it automatically adjusts. So as the price goes up, the pool adjustment for Camino that you're providing liquidity for will also change as well. I don't know why Camino's not loading. 1 second. I'm really sorry if like my stream is laggy. I'm not too sure what's going on with my internet, guys. Let me close out this. All right, well, Camino's not popping up right now, so I don't know what else to do. If it does come up, we'll circle back to Camino because I really want to show you that, guys. I'm currently providing liquidity for the Bonk and Sol pool. There it is. Yes, it's coming up. Thank God. Slowly but surely, it's coming. There we go. Boom. All right. So I'm currently providing, not too much, just 1.8K for the Bonk and Sol pool. The reason I decided to provide liquidity for this is because, once again, Camino does not have a coin yet. So if they come out with a coin, I want to be eligible for it. So I plan on leaving. There's been, especially since Sol started pumping, there has been a perfect correlation between the movement of Bonk and Sol. Whenever Sol pumps, Bonk pumps. Yes, it pumps a little harder, but they're pretty much on parity with each other. So that's why I'm like, if these two are, oh snap, you guys can't even see my screen, my bad. If these two are moving together, I don't want to really suffer too much impermanent loss, and that's the best way to do it. I've been providing liquidity since like Monday, and $82 in trading fees is not bad. Like, I mean, I'll take it, like a little under $20 a day. And I'll be providing this for the foreseeable future. I don't see why I would remove this. And so, as I mentioned earlier, the liquidity here is auto-compounded back into it. So Camino, if I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Camino has been hacked in the past. So that's why I didn't like put too much liquidity in here. But it's something's better than nothing. I mean, it seems to be doing pretty good. And I do think, once again, even going forward in the future, as Sol moves up or down, Bonk will follow with it. And I just think it's a good pool to provide liquidity for, especially with the APR. That shit's insane. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. Who is calling, guys? Yeah, my bad about that. All right. So the last thing I wanted to cover today is Drift. So let me pull up Drift. If you guys have not used Drift, it is an amazing protocol. It's a a decentralized trading platform. So it's not you don't, if you like, let's say you just wanted to, you know, trade perps on Sol or USDC, or not USDC, but BTC or ETH, you can do that from this platform. What the heck is Drift? On Twitter. Drift protocol, boom, Drift trading app. 1 second, guys. Yo, sorry about that. Like somebody's buzzing my door, but I don't know who it is. So I'm like, dog, go away. All right, so boom. Let me make sure. Okay, you guys can see. Cool. So this is Drift. If you wanted to, like, you know, like I said, long, short, they have a ton of different coins up here that you guys can long. I know there's like caps on how much you're able to long. I think during this is version 2, because like version 1 they had some issues because during the Luna crash. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't want to call it a hack or anything like that because I don't know the specifics around it. But I know they had some issues, but they've upgraded and assuming they fix those. But what we're here for today is, once again, trying to farm for DeFi token or for airdrops. So what you want to do, what I'm doing right now is I'm on the lending borrowing section for Drift. So here, just as in other money markets, you can lend any different asset in order to the protocol. Sorry, guys. So right now I have what JSOL and Sol being lent. I personally like to spread my liquidity around slightly, just because if one protocol gets hacked, I don't want to be completely all in on that one protocol and just get absolutely destroyed. So in my opinion, it's better to, you know, put a little bit here and put it a little bit there in the 2 protocols that I think will do well, instead of just getting wrecked if one goes wrong. Because like if one goes wrong, it's like it ain't the end of the world, but 2 go wrong, I'm like, oh, this is a bad day. So I have Jito Sol here, so I'm gaining fees from taking Jito out and using it as just staking with Jito. I'm gaining fees through APR, and then I'm also gaining they don't even have points on Drift. I'm just assuming because Drift does not have a coin yet, I will be able to get some type of return. And it's, as you can see, some APR is calculating, so it's not too much. But right now I'm not worried about the APR. I just want to be able to become eligible for points. Any DeFi protocol being new, any new protocol that comes out, or when protocols do a coin drop, they look at the existing users within the ecosystem and use those for airdrops. Even on ETH, for individuals who wanted to do airdrops, it's like all you had to do was like bridge, mess around with things on various chains in order to become eligible. So let's say a new protocol comes out. Of course, they don't have an idea of like existing protocol to use. So they're like, okay, let's take an example of the current user base. Let's say, oh, this top money market, let's take users from there. And those are the individuals we're giving airdrops to. This is why I think it's so important to be active in DeFi, because nobody knows how these airdrops, like a lot of the criteria for these airdrops aren't fully disclosed. Nor do they tell you the exact timeline. Drift is, if I'm not mistaken, Drift has been like, we're not doing a token. Yeah, sure. The protocols that say they don't want to do a token are probably the ones you need to be farming the most on. So as you can see here, got things provided. So I think that's a good overview of all the platforms. I mean, once again, if you guys have any questions, just drop it to me in the chat. But to begin to wrap things up on that, 1 second. Not too sure why my stream's up. There we go. It was a bit laggy. Yeah, so to wrap things up, my overall DeFi, like Solana's super pumping. I don't know how high it's going to pump. When it ran from 20 to 40, I was like, There has to be a pullback soon, right? Nah, that motherfucker. Oh, dang it! That dude, the coin just did a 3x. So what the heck do I know? And also, I'm not a TA master. But let me show you guys this. This is some alpha for you. The individuals who are TA masters. Oh man, it's like my boy Joe. So there's a couple traders in this space. Joe Shake. Yeah, those are the two guys I trust the most in terms of TA. Joe is probably the best trader I know, like hands down, not even close. This dude is a monster. So please follow him if you are not doing so. He provides tons of value in short-term trading. And if you're trying to learn TA or just want to know thoughts on the market, I don't know anybody else better to follow. Also, my boy Shake. He just got back off of vacation and he's a Boogle. So you know, because he has a Boogle, you know he's trustworthy. Just go ahead and give him a follow. I'm sure he'll be putting more charts on the market, about the market and everything else whenever he gets back done with his vacation. Also, 618 AD. Let me leverage. Yeah, follow AD. This dude is awesome. He runs a trading group. It's free for everybody. So go in here and you can go out, hang out in there. I'll be in there too, trading with him. So he's an awesome dude to follow. So please give those guys a great follow if you get a chance, especially if you're trying to get better at trading. Hold on. Hey, Dorian, can we watch this stream on your YouTube channel? No. You'll be able to watch it on the channel. I'm not going to delete it. I'll even take like short clips out of it and probably repost them. So yeah. Why did Sol pump, dude? Sol pumped because it was significantly undervalued because of all the FTX FUD. So the fun, even when FTX happened, let me pull up the chart and we can tell the story of exactly what went down with the chart. Solana. Oh, let me share this. All right, it's taking a little bit to load. I don't know. Sorry if my internet's like laggy and stuff. All right, so here is when obviously, you know, in the bull market, everything's going down. We hovered around that 30 range for like several months. This was like, I think, post Russia-Ukraine invasion. So being able to hold in that was pretty good. This crash from 30, sending us to Goblin Town around, it shows $9. It hit $8. That happened because FTX collapsed. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there. Sorry, a lot of YouTube content out there that talks about that collapse. Oh crap! I'm not sharing my screen with you guys. Is it still worth investing in Sol right now? Oh yeah, no problem. Sniffles, dude. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Sniffles. No, sorry, Squipply. Yeah, is it worth investing in Sol right now? Yes, yes, it's worth investing in Sol right now. I would wait for a pullback. No idea when that pullback is coming. But just be patient. Sol's not going to run to 240. And you know what? If it does run to 240 right now, I'll eat my own shoe. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, let's just check out this chart. Hold on. Let me share it. Hold on. All right. Boom. All right, yeah. Sol's chart's not popping up. Right now, it's at 61. But if it ran to 240, that'd have to be pretty, which I don't think is going to happen. That's another, what, 3x, 4x? As much as I would enjoy that, I don't think it's going to happen. I do believe that Sol will break its all-time high again, though. Like, full confidence in it. So because, you know, it just ran up, I'd wait. I'm not the best TA person in the world. I'm not going to sit here in front with you guys. I really specialize in NFT and DeFi trading. Just because that's where my specialty is. I'm not like a super good short-term trader. I'm more mid to long-term. But yeah, I think it's pretty worth investing in, man. I don't know. I'd probably look. Maybe it might hit that 55 again if you really, really wanted to pick it up. But the best thing I can recommend is just DCAing, dude. Like, you'll save you a lot of time and stress just by setting auto buys on Coinbase. You can even do auto buys on Jupiter to get Sol. But I believe that in this next cycle, Sol has the potential to either reach ETH or like come pretty down close to it. Like market, I can show you this cool website, market cap comparisons. All right, let me share this. Yeah, it's this pretty cool market cap comparison thing that can show you the potential of coins. So like Solana. If my internet decides to work, and then ETH. Yeah, so whenever my internet decides to work, it's lagging a bit. I'll be able to show you like how much potential a coin or multiples of coin can go. And I think that's what a lot of people miss out on, especially with market caps, is that everybody's like, oh, this is going to go to the moon or going to do super well. Or this coin like XR, like Doge going to $1. Like it's important to understand how much a coin can move. There we go. So Solana to ETH. Boom, that's a 9x, man. So even at buying right now, that's optimism, 9x. ETH's all-time high, that's ETH's now. That's a 21x if it hits ETH's all-time high. That's $1,000 for Solana. That's super hopium. So I'm not trying to mislead you guys about any of that. However, I do think it's important to take a realistic approach. So 9x, let's say a 5x from this point. A 5x from this point is literally not bad. It's the safest 5x that you can possibly do, in my opinion. And I think some people get caught too much up in the I'm going to get this next 100x. I'm going to hit this next 1000x. While those are good, you chasing after those leaves you missing out on guaranteed multiples. So sometimes it's better to take the slow and steady approach than it is to take the quick and fast one. And you taking slow and steady, you'll get other opportunities just by taking that approach. One example was in is Bonk. Bonk happened a couple months after the airdrop happened throughout December for people who were just around. And it really brought the ecosystem back to life. So Bonk ran up. I brought like, I don't know, it did some stupid numbers. We can look at the chart, but it really outperformed itself. And so if you're just around using the platform and stuff, you got that airdrop. Same thing with Jupiter. If you've just been around in the ecosystem using the protocols, you'll probably get the Jupiter airdrop. So in peak bull market, let's say on the conservative side, I think Sol can do a 5 to 10x from this point. So yes, I do still think Sol is worth investing in. And not only will I continue to invest in Sol and trade in Sol, I'm really seeking these other opportunities in DeFi to really capitalize on those gains. Because while Sol might do conservatively a 5 to 10x, a lot of these protocol tokens are likely to do, I would say, a 10 to 20x. So it's great to have exposure to them through airdrops. Also, going back to your question, again, your previous question about why did Sol pump, it's just been undervalued severely, man. Like, just after the FTX crash, nothing fundamentally changed with the token. However, what did change was people's perception, or actually during that time, Sol was shutting down a lot too. That wasn't good. It was hard times. NFTs really pushed the chain to their limit. And dude, it was struggling. Like having like a hype mint was coming up, you knew the chain was going down. It wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts, man. It was nasty. And people were not comfortable having hundreds of thousands of dollars locked on a chain that could possibly shut down at any moment. Oh, sorry guys. So yeah, that's one of the reasons that Strobe was struggling in the past, just to change the narrative. But once there came a point where there was no shutdowns, and shutdowns haven't happened. I don't know the exact site to find it on. Shutdowns haven't happened for a minute, but Sol still had the nasty stench, SBF on it, and FTX, where nobody wanted to touch it. They thought Solana was an SBF and that clearly was not the case. The biggest fundamental issue of Solana was the shutdowns, but that's now fixed. Solana, if you've been around this ecosystem, you know that Solana is the smoothest user experience out there. And this is why another reason I'm bullish on it is that other people are starting to realize it's the smoothest experience out there. We can go to let's go check out Ansem. This dude is probably another one of the best traders I know in the space. Really, really knowledgeable about the market. So hold on, internet's moving slow again. Of course, something went wrong. Oh, look at that too. Boom. And we can check out what Pio's saying in a second. So Ansem, this dude, one of the best traders I know. He definitely has a good solid read on the market, and he's become bullish on Solana back after FTX crash. He recognized the fundamentals and understood that the whole narrative around Solana was just that, a narrative, a negative narrative that was suppressing the price. And once he started using the platform and realized how good it was, he's like, this thing is going to send, this thing is going to send. And he's been talking about it for once since what, 16, 18? Like, so he's up significantly. I do think there's a lot of apprehension. So a lot, because we're finally changing the narrative of the FTX crash, and people are beginning to realize the fundamental and how much of a better user experience it is. That's what's leading to the pump. So I think Solana is going back to fair value because it was undervalued for the longest. And that's why I think as we see EVL and DeFi increase, I think that'll lead to the next push of Solana's price to increase as well. I say that because in order to use Solana DeFi, you need to buy SOL. If you see Solana break $1 billion market cap in terms of TVL, I think a lot of that will have to do to DeFi. Let's go. I do want to talk about before I wrap up. I do want to talk about like other opportunities. And thank you for your questions, Squipley. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, dude. I do want to talk about some other opportunities out there. As I said, I mentioned Bonk earlier. Let me go Bonk. And then Sheeb. So Bonk, if you don't know, is like the premier meme coin of Solana. I mentioned earlier a second ago that this thing has been absolutely running, going with Sol. As we see more people come in the ecosystem, I think this will be the premier meme coin that people go after. During the hype bull market, if even at the current price of SHIB now, that's still a 47x. That's absolutely stupid. If it goes, Bonk goes to SHIB's all-time high, that's a 355x. You put $1,000 in and it hits SHIB's all-time high, that's $350,000. That's absolutely stupid. That's also a lot of hopium. I don't know if it's going to go there, but I think holding a bag of SHIB is not something you can go wrong with either. I had a trade open, but I recently traded out of it. I'll probably jump back in depending on what the price action of Sol does. And one more thing else I want to talk about. No, that's it. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything, guys. Hopefully this stream has given you a better understanding of Solana DeFi, exactly what I'm doing. Once again, to recap, I'm pretty much farming JSOL, depositing it in marginfi and drift, mainly those two because they don't have tokens, increased likelihood of getting bigger airdrop. So even if you have a small portfolio, I think it's fine. You just, oh yeah, no problem, dude. I appreciate you taking your time out to just tune in. Even if you have a small portfolio, like, $100 or something, just allocate some portion of that because it still counts as something. So DeFi farming is one of the quickest ways that individuals can increase their value of their portfolio. Once again, my specialties, I'm not a short-term coin trader. I'm more focused on DeFi because DeFi, airdrops, and trading NFTs, because those are my more mid to long-term stuff, especially with my regular job and my work in crypto. It just allows me to passively make plays and still do pretty well trading overall. So highly recommend staking some SOL for liquid SOL in some form and putting it into a money market just so you can become eligible for those airdrops, because I don't want you guys to miss out on a golden opportunity to hit a 10x off of one of the most obvious ways possible. Everybody always tends to get caught up in meme coins and chasing guac or whatever's out there, which I don't think is wrong. If that's your edge, you go for it. However, don't miss out on guaranteed opportunities that might take a little bit longer. There's a severe lack of patience on Solana, so you having a little bit more patience than other people usually pays off. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. My DM's always open. If you don't have a Cyber Samurai, you can pick one up, come hanging out there with me, shaking the rest of the boys. But yeah, man, thank you all for watching. I'll probably do another one of these if I, I do want to do more live streams. So whenever like, the market's moving like it is, or like I see something in the market that nobody else is seeing, I'll probably host another live stream. These are pretty fun. So thanks guys for joining. I'll catch y'all next time. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening.